Then exercise 1.2. Okay, so let's start it with question number 1. So first of all, read this question. State whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answers. Okay, our first question is, every irrational number is a real number. Okay, every irrational number is a real number. We already learned these things in theory part of this chapter, right? In real numbers, all numbers are covered. That means rational, irrational, right? Integer, whole number, and natural number. So in real number, all numbers are covered, right? So every rational number is a real number, every irrational number is a real number, every integer number is a real number, every whole number is a real number, every natural number is a real number. Okay, so all numbers are real numbers. So this statement is true. Every irrational number is a real number. Okay. Second, every point on the number line is of the form under root m, where m is a natural number. Okay, every point on the number line is of the form under root m, where m is a natural number. Now this statement is false. Okay, because on the number line we can represent a positive and negative numbers, right? If we draw the number line, then here 0, 1, 2, and here negative numbers, right? Now here what is written, that every number point on the number line is of the form under root m. Now in under root we cannot write the negative numbers, right? It is not real number, it is a imaginary number, and imaginary number we cannot represent on the number line. Okay, that means in under root we can write only 0, 1, 2, 3, right? That means positive numbers, we cannot write negative numbers. So if we say about under root m, m is every number point on the number line, then we cannot represent the negative numbers here. That's why this statement is false, right? That means under root minus 2 is not possible, under root minus 3 is not possible for the real numbers. Okay, these are the imaginary numbers. So that's why this statement is false. Okay, third question is, every real number is an irrational number. Now just look at the question number 1 and 3. In question number 1, every rational number is a real number. Here every real number is an irrational number, right? This statement is a false. Every irrational number is a real number, but every real number is not a irrational number. Okay, in real number all the numbers are covered. That means rational and irrational, right? If we think about 3 by 5, then 3 by 5 is a rational number, right? It is rational number, it means it is real number even, but it is not irrational number. Alternately, what we can say, that 3 by 5 is a real number, but it is not irrational number, right? 3 by 5 is a real number, but it is not a irrational number. That's why this statement is false. Okay, again I will tell you, that is every irrational number is a real number, but every real number is not a irrational number, not an irrational number. Okay, then next question number 2. Are the square root of all positive numbers irrational? If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is rational number, right? Now if we think about the under root, just write the perfect square number in the under root. Okay, that means 4 is a perfect square number. So under root 4, here what is written, are the square root of all the positive integers are irrational? The statement is false. For all the numbers are not irrational number. right? All the numbers are not irrational number. If we think about the 4, that means perfect square number, then square root of 4, it's a 2, right? Square root of 4, it is 2, and 2 is a rational number, right? 2 is a rational number. This is not an irrational number. When we get the irrational number, if in under root we have prime numbers, means 2, 3, 5, 7, then it becomes irrational number. Okay, so this statement is false. Square root of all the positive numbers are not irrational. Okay, so here we know that square root of every positive integer will not yield an integer. We know that under root 4 is 2, which is an integer, but under root 7, under root 10 will give an irrational number. Therefore, we can conclude that square root of every positive number is not an irrational number, because if we have perfect square number, okay, if we have perfect square number in the under root, then square root is possible, right? And answer of its square root, it is an integer number, and every integer numbers are rational numbers. Okay, so that's why we cannot say that square root of every positive number is irrational. Okay, if in under root we have 4, otherwise 9, 16, 1, 25, these are the perfect square number, right? So square root is possible, we get integer number as answer, and all integer numbers are rational number. That's why this statement is false. Okay, then next is question number 3. Here, show how under root 5 can be represented on the number line. Okay, we need to represent under root 5 on the number line. Okay, so first of all, we just need to convert this number in the Pythagoras triplet. Okay, because we can represent this number on the number line by using the Pythagoras triplet, by using the right angle triangle. Okay, now if we think about this under root 5, then under root 5 all square, it is 5, right? We can write 5 like 4 plus 1, that means addition of two perfect square number. Okay, first of all, what we need to do, whatever number we need to represent on the number line, here we have under root 5, so first of all just we need to find the square. Okay, so under root 5 all square, it is 5 only. Now convert this 5 into sum of two perfect square number. So 4 plus 1, right? 4 and 1 both are perfect square number. Okay, so now here 5, that means under root 5 all square, 4, that means 2 all square, and 1, it is 1 square. Okay, we need to convert these numbers in the form of square. Now this is Pythagoras triplet, right? Hypotenuse square is equals to sum of square of other two sides. So our other two sides is 2 and 1. Okay, so these three numbers, that means under root 5, 2, 1 are the sides of right angle triangle, and under root 5 is your hypotenuse. Okay, again I repeat this thing. What you need to do here, just take square of your number, it's a 5 only. Convert this number into 2, sum of two perfect square number. Okay, then write like this, under root 5 whole square, here 2 whole square, here 1 whole square. So these three are the sides of right angle triangle, and in that under root 5 is your hypotenuse. Okay, so first of all on the number line, here we have one number line, right? Now here we have number -1, here 0, okay, here 1, here 2, here 3. Okay, now we have two sides, 2 and 1. Okay, right now we can consider any one side. Okay, 2 otherwise 1. Right now I am going with 1. Okay, so from 0 up to this 1, measurement of this line, it is 1 meter. Okay, then we need to draw perpendicular line here. Okay, and on that perpendicular line we need to mark 2 centimeter. It is here, right, with the scale. Okay, with the scale. Again, what we need to do, first of all, just write down one, just draw one number line. 0, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter. Okay, our two sides is 1 and 2, so I consider here 1. Okay, I am just forming one right angle triangle, because 1, 2 and under root 5, it is the side of right angle triangle, right? So first of all, I just want to draw my two sides, 1 and 2. So first of all, I take here 1 centimeter, then we need to draw perpendicular line up to 2 centimeter. Okay, so this is 1 centimeter and here 2 centimeter. Now if I join this point, so alternately what I get? Under root 5 here, right, by the Pythagoras law. Okay, if you draw here 1 and perpendicular if you draw 2, then if you join these 2 points, you will get your hypotenuse under root 5, because that's that setup we are putting here, right, under root 5. Okay, now where is our number line? Here, right, this is our number line. We need to represent this under root 5 on the number line, right? Now what you need to do, just take one compass and put your point here, point of your compass here, and here is your pencil. Okay, then just draw one arc. Okay, again I repeat this thing, your compass, it is on the point A. Okay, and your pencil is at point C. Then you just need to draw one arc. Okay, now this arc is done, then this is your point D. Okay, so distance between A to D, it is under root 5. Okay, why it is under root 5? Because initially your A to C, it is under root 5, right? Now if you draw the arc, then your radius becomes the same, right? And if you draw the arc, then here even your radius is same. This both are radius, right? Here under root 5, so here it is also under root 5. So your under root 5 is represented on the number line. Okay, again I repeat this question. First of all, under root 5 all square, it's a 5. Now you need to divide this 5 into 2 parts. That means sum of two perfect square number, it is 4 plus 1. Okay, so we can write like this: under root 5 all square is equals to 2 all square plus 1 all square. Okay, this is the Pythagoras law. Sum of hypotenuse is equals to sum of other two sides, right? Now under root 5, 2 and 1 is the side of right angle triangle, right? Because here Pythagoras law is applied. So we can say that these three are the sides of right angle triangle, right? So under root 5, 1 and 2 are the sides of right angle triangle. Now we know that we cannot represent under root 5 on this scale, right? So alternately what we need to do, we just need to draw two sides which have measurement 1 centimeter and 2 centimeter, and this is your hypotenuse, right? Now these two sides have a 90 degree angle in between them, because it's a right angle triangle, right? Like this, here 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, and here under root 5. Okay, so I just draw two sides which have measurement 1 centimeter and 2 centimeter. Okay, so first of all what I do here, I just draw 1 centimeter side and 10 perpendicular line and 2 centimeter side. Then if we join this, then we get here under root 5. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to put compass. I need to take one compass. Okay, then point of your compass here and point of your pencil is here. Okay, so after that, this is your radius. Okay, then just draw one arc here. Okay, so this is even your radius. This is your radius r and this is even your radius r. Okay, so radius r same. This is under root 5 because it's a right angle triangle, right? So this is even under root 5. So in this way you can represent under root 5 on the number line. Okay, in this way you can represent your under root 5 on the number line. Okay, Now whatever number you have, first of all what you need to do, you just need to make Pythagoras triplet. Okay, that means first of all you need to take a square of your number, and that answer you need to just divide into two perfect square numbers, sum of two perfect square number. Okay, after that Pythagoras triplet is formed, then you can represent your irrational number on the number line. Okay, in this way now under root 5, it is one irrational number, right? Because in under root, if we have prime number, then it is irrational number, right? So in this way we can represent our irrational number on the number line. Okay, so students, here our exercise 1.2 is complete. If you have any doubt in this exercise, please write down in comment section. I will give you the answer. Okay, thank you.